air. So I don't know which one is the president, which one is the speaker, which one is the, positions. The one that was there earlier, well, she gave me a whole rundown. I know her parents, I know her boyfriends. I say boyfriends. I know her position on the board, I know everything about her, but the other two that came in, I don't have all the information on yet. So let's start with Lady in Purple. Good afternoon and welcome to 12 to 1 Talk.
Good afternoon, Fernando. My name is Jaida Nisbet. I am the president of the Rotary Club of St.Martin Sunset. Thank you for having us this afternoon. Good afternoon, radio listeners. Good afternoon to those that are turned on to our Facebook Live. Good afternoon to my fellow Rotarians. How is everyone doing?
Okay, and you say you're the president for 2019?
Yes.
Okay. And you said Rotary Sunrise. Sunset. Okay, so we have a sunrise too?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually have 5 Rotary clubs on the island.
5 now?
Yes.
Wow.
We're the newest ones on the block. We have the Rotary Club of St. Martin, the Rotary Club of St. Martin Mid-Isle, the Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunrise, and the Rotary Club of St. Martin North. That's the club on the front side.
And then you have Sunrise and Sunset.
Correct.
Okay, you are
Sunset.
Okay. Wow, that's creative names though. To call something as Sunset and a Sunrise. You know, nowadays people don't born and die no more. The sunrise and sunset. Yeah. You don't say, well, he died on sun. No, sunset. I don't know what that means, but like the moon don't ever come up. Ms. Nisbet, congratulations on being president of the club. And is this a female club?
Absolutely not.
Oh, so it's both men and...
We have male and female.
Male and female, yes. Okay. And who's here with you? She's in her uniform though.
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Clark. My name is Akila and I'm a club member of the Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunset.
Akila
Domois?
Domois.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. And you're a member? You're on the board or?
No, I'm a club member.
Just a club member?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't mean just like...
No, I understand.
Once you are a member, I
yes,
mean,
I am.
you're, everybody's vitally important. Should I bring in the other guests?
Well, we can just give her a shout out, Michelle.
Hi.
Michelle Bozeman.
Yes.
And what's her position on the board?
We have her Rotary Foundation chair. She made it a little clear this afternoon that she's here just to provide moral support.
She's not here to speak.
So we just want to acknowledge her and thank her for, being here with us.
And for the support.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what does the Rotary Club do that let's say other clubs don't do? What's the Rotary Club all about?
Okay, so for those that don't know or may not be familiar with Rotary, Rotary is a global organization. We're a network of 1.2 million Rotarians that comprise of business professionals and business leaders. We go by the motto, service above self. And some of the main focus areas that we try to engage in are promoting peace, fighting diseases, providing clean water and sanitation, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. So all of our community service projects are centered around those themes.
Wow. Clean water.
Yes.
Who would ever think of water or having to have clean water? One would think, well, you always have clean water. But we're going to get into what do you do about and when we say clean water, are we only referring to drinking water or also the water you swim in?
Correct, clean water and sanitation. So although on St. Martin we don't have that big of a challenge with accessing clean water, there are countries, neighboring countries even, for example Haiti, even Venezuela, that persons living there cannot have access to clean drinking water. And we know that, the human can live maybe a few weeks without food, but you cannot live without water.
Yeah, like I don't get without food. You're talking about weeks?
Well, you should try it. You should try
it.
it. You'll see how important it is.
When you have people talking about diet, it's only die, the mean, Don't eat and you're on a diet, you're on die. Anyhow, but those are some very important topics because it affects the world, and you said you're a global organization, and it affects the world, many countries around the world. And you mentioned right around this area, but there in the Far East, there are many countries where clean water would be like gold, you know. So I think that is a very important, what would I say, standpoint for the organization to stand on. Now, to join the Rotary, do you have to be at a certain age, or is there a maximum age, a minimum age, weight, or anything like that?
So the Rotary family, it comes in many different facets. We start out at Early Act, which is mainly the younger students, so in elementary schools. Then we have Interact. Those are the students that are in high school. We have the Rotaract clubs, which are comprised of young professionals between 18 and 30. And then typically from 30 and up, you become a Rotarian.
Okay. Also, before 30, you cannot really be a Rotarian. But you're part of the family, though.
Several years ago, they did introduce the concept of having a Rotaractarian, so you can be younger than 30 and be a part of the Rotary organization.
Okay. How often do you meet?
Our club, we meet every second and fourth Mondays. We meet at the Carl & Sons Conference Center in Kobe from 7:30 to 8:30.
Now, if somebody wants to join the Rotary, do they have to go through a screening process and all of that? I mean,
well, you have to have the same passion that, you know, to be a Rotarian. It's not just join an organization to have the name, I'm a Rotarian, but, you know, Rotarians are persons that see a world that create lasting change in the lives of people in your communities, in the world, and within yourself, so personal development. So if those are some of the things that resonate with any individual, they can reach out to any member of our club. They can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, Rotary SXM Sunset. Correct? PR. And they just let us know that they have an interest in the club. One of our members would kind of be a sponsor to that person. They would give them all the information about what Rotary is, the background, and if that person decides that, yes, I think this is a fit for me, then we will offer them membership in our club.
okay, so there's no age limit. You can't say that you have passed the age.
No.
Do you have to own your own business or anything like that?
Absolutely not. You just have to be able to fulfill your monthly dues commitment. Our monthly dues are $50. It varies by different clubs. So it all depends on the club that you attend. They have different dues. So once you can fulfill your commitments, then you're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Dormoy, let me hear a little bit from you now, because you have the president doing all the talking. So let me hear a little bit. How long have you been in the club?
I have been in Rotary for 2.5 years, but in this club about 9 months.
So you switched clubs?
No. So I was an interactor, but I was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And then after I left high school, I was out of Rotary for a while. And then I recently joined the Rotary Club of St.Martin Sunset last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you like it?
I love it. I love it.
What do you love so much about it?
I love the giving back to our community, and not even our community alone, but we give worldwide. And I love the bond and friendship that we have as a family. So it's like a family.
Yeah, you grow on each other.
Yes,
because you're working together.
Yes.
You know, when people start doing things together, you know, you become like a team. You know, you have to do things together. You can't do without one. You know, one can't do without the other. So yeah, that's a very positive thing. Now, I know usually Rotary and so on, you have projects working on and things come. Any upcoming projects that you're working on or that you have in mind?
Definitely. So last year we had several projects.
I think Ms. Dormoy wanted to take it.
You want to take it? I'll provide support and assist where needed.
Okay, so one of the projects that we have is the Reach One Feed One. That is actually
One Feed
One. Yes. So that is actually one of my favorite projects that we did. We last year, several members in our club, they made food, and we catered to about 200 people, 200 homeless or less fortunate people. So we went to different districts, and we distributed the food. I like that project because you would be surprised to see just such a small island and how many homeless and less fortunate people that we have living here. It was very heartbreaking.
I was about to ask you if we have such people on the island.
Yes, we do. We have lots. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time very fulfilling.
So, and how long this project goes on for?
It's just 1 day.
1 day.
We haven't decided on a day as yet, if I'm correct.
I think it's sometime.
It's in October. It's usually in October, but we haven't finalized the day as yet.
So you actually go to the people, or the people have to come to you?
No, we go to them.
So you figure out who they are?
No, so we have certain areas where we know, for instance, that persons they're definitely less fortunate, and we reach out to them. Like last year we did a coaster bus, and we went to different districts. We went to Dutch Quarter, we went to Marigo. I forgot. I'm not sure of the name.
Right here, St. James.
St. James.
By the marina.
Yeah.
We went to Cahill as well. So yeah.
Wow. And you know more or less how many people you touched on that day? More or less, whether 100, 200, 300, 500?
Well, on that day, we did partner with Shamrock. I think his foundation, I'm not completely sure. I don't remember the name. It was Swaliga something. Yeah. And we partnered with him. We distributed, I think, 150 plus food.
Meals. Wow.
Meals.
So you have that project coming up again this year?
Yes. And this year we intend to do, we're trying to be ambitious and do at least 300.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying to me on this island you could find 300, let's say, between homeless and less fortunate people?
Yes.
Yes, because what we did, as Rotarian Akila mentioned, we went to Dutch Quarter in the emergency home area. We also went to Cahill in the Cahill area up in the hill. We also passed on the Pond Island. And shockingly enough for me, because as a Rotaractor, this is a project we used to do, and they still continue doing every Boxing Day. They have a Feed the Less Fortunate project. And to see the number of persons that we saw when we did it, it was very, very mind-boggling. And I guess it's because it's an aftermath of Irma. A lot of persons are still displaced. So we just wanted to, provide that support to our community.
Now, would you say then that prior to Irma, it was less?
I do believe it was much less. And I think, just seeing different persons that are walking on the streets now, it's a lot more than what we used to see previously.
And a lot of the people that we cater to, they were actually homeless. A lot of them.
Wow. So, and that's one of the things about Rotary, reaching out to people. Yeah. The project is called Reach One?
Reach One, Feed One.
Reach One, Feed One. Wow. Who came up with that name?
Our service project chair, Kimberly. I'm sorry.
I think it was our secretary, Secretary Alicia Lake.
Oh, okay.
She came up with the name.
Reach One, Feed One. I like that. People in St. Martin would think that, less fortunate or homeless, something you don't see in St. Martin. But learning from what you're telling me and learning from this project, you would realize that it is, I don't want to say rampant, but it exists.
It is a concern, and even within the schools. I know that we recently did a breakfast program at the Marie Genevieve de Weaver School earlier this year, and we were basically doing like a survey of schools that we can assist and provide support to the students that do not come to school with food or any lunch. Because can you imagine a child coming to school, how would you focus and you're hungry? It's difficult for them to focus on what the teacher is teaching them if their belly is grumbling. So we did a small survey of schools and the needs of the school. And believe you me, it was very shocking to see how many students come to school with that haven't had breakfast and no lunch.
Wow. And an empty barrel can't stand.
Yeah.
So, and we have children in that condition, in that situation, that they are going to school without a meal, or
Correct.
without lunch?
Correct. So what we did, we reached out to the school administration and they gave us, I believe it was about 50 students in that one school that we provide breakfast for every day.
So that's an ongoing thing. They
Yes.
get breakfast.
Yes.
Wow.
And that was just one school. There are other schools that we did consider, but the numbers were far much greater than we could have really handled at that time.
Could you reach out to another organization to assist with, let's say, the other schools? And it doesn't have to be like another service club, but maybe any kind of organization.
Yes, so
that
I
could come up with
do
that?
know that our sister club, the Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunrise, they also have a breakfast program that is ongoing, and that's very successful. That has been going on for several years. But one of the things with Rotary clubs, we're limited to funds. So, you know, any assistance from corporate sponsors, we would appreciate, because it would allow us to do so much more than what we're doing right now.
I believe we have a caller here on the line. Let's see if it's related to our program. Good afternoon, caller.
Fernando, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon to your guest. I heard your guest was saying a while ago that she goes along and feed the people who are homeless and the poor. How sure are she sure that those persons are lonely and hungry and everything? Or they have a family, or they live in a house, you know, are they a home, or they want getting feed like that? Thank you, sir.
So yes,
Okay.
as I did mention, we partnered with an organization on the French side, and if I do believe, if I'm not wrong, that every Sunday he has a similar program, and so we reached out to him, and he actually pointed us in the areas that, you know, we have a lot of less fortunate persons, and I don't think it would have been appropriate for us to really question whether or not, you know, they are in need of the meal, but once they accepted it, we were grateful that we were able to, you know, provide that support to them.
Yeah. You don't want to make it too, how would I say, you know, too much bureaucracy. You
Right.
know?
We
There's this meal,
understand
but-
their situation, but we don't want to make them feel less of a human, because they still have dignity. So we just provide a hot meal and a drink, and they were very grateful for it.
Yeah. I think that's a plus. That's very, very good that we have organizations that do these things. But what really touched me is when we spoke about the schools, you know, the children. I mean, yes, I know we have homeless people, and I know we have less fortunate, but when you talk about children going to school, they don't have a meal in the morning, and probably won't be going home to a lunch either. You know, these are our fellow citizens on the island. You know, and then you have some who have an abundance, and you have those who don't have a toilet. And it's good to reach out to them. You know, to I have a friend who told me her daughter goes to school with 3 sandwiches every day, because she shares with 2 other friends in her class who never come to school with a sandwich. So she has her mother prepare, or she prepares them herself, 3 sandwiches every day, the same sandwich. So if it's cheese, all of them getting cheese, you know. But she would give 2 friends who, you know, confided in her, look, my mother don't have the money to provide me a breakfast, so we come to school with nothing, and she shares with them, and from time to time she would take them home after school to have lunch with her, you know. Now that's a plus, but she's dealing with 2 people, but you could very well have many more, you know. So that's worrisome. That really, wow. I mean, it's, you know. Anyhow, what other projects do the Rotary do? Oh, well, your club. Yeah. Or let me ask this question. Is there any particular project that all the clubs would get together and do any one project, all of them together?
To date, no, but we do encourage partnerships. So you might have two Rotary clubs, they would partner to do one project, but to say that all of the clubs, no, not as yet. So hopefully we will be able to get that done in the future. Okay. But going back to your question on some of the projects that we do, as I mentioned, we have 6 main focus areas. So every month there is a theme of the month that we try to incorporate when we're planning our projects. So for example, this month is membership development and retention. So though we're not trying to attract a lot of members right now because we're at capacity, we're trying to get the Rotary name out there. There are 4 other clubs on the island that, you know, you can choose basically which club you want to be a part of if you're interested in being a Rotarian. We also have a membership highlight on our Facebook page that's currently ongoing, where we kind of have our members, you know, talk about their experience in Rotary, why they joined the organization, and, you know, why is it so fulfilling for them, as well as on our Instagram page. And next month, the month of September, is Literacy Month. So during that month, we focus on promoting literacy in our communities. Last year, we did a read a book a day to the students. So each Rotarian in our club visited a school and read to the students in a classroom of their desire, which was very, you know, to my surprise, very successful, that the children were excited to have us come in and read to them. And then we not only just read a book to them, but we also told them about the importance of, you know, reading and literacy. We also had a reading slumber fun. That was another hit. We initially reading slumber fun. So it was a kind of a slumber party, but the children actually did not sleep over. We catered to children between the ages of 6 to 12, and we held it at the John Lamini Center. We had a lot of creative activities, so they did arts and crafts, and then we had storytellers came in to do live storytelling. And at the end of the night, we had an educational movie. We watched Matilda, and the kids came out. They had their pajamas, they had their blankets, they had their pillows. Initially, we wanted to cater to 50 children, but before, you know, that number quickly doubled.
Wow.
Because we had one student was like, you know, I'm going to this slumber fun, and they tell their friend, and they tell their friend wants to go, and the whole crew wants to go. But it was really, really fun. The parents, you know, a lot of them were a little skeptical about leaving their children alone somewhere, but we assured them that we had all Rotarians on deck. So now we're a club of 48 members, so we can easily look and, you know, watch over 100 kids per se.
I must highlight though, it was everything minus the slumber, because they didn't sleep over.
They didn't sleep.
No,
they didn't
not
sleep.
They spent the whole night, but they didn't sleep.
They didn't sleep.
Yes.
So they were doing crafts and watching
Face
movies
painting.
all that too.
Yes, you know, you have a lot of artistic Rotarians, myself included. So, you know, we painted their face. They were in love with my work, I must say. And, you know, we had the characters, the cartoon characters. They came, they did their performance. We had Miss Luki Morales. She did a dramatic storytelling. We also had teacher Carty from the Mac School, and we had Miss Clara Reyes. They did storytelling. The students, the children absolutely loved it.
Wow. So, and these are projects you'll do yearly?
Yes, so this year we're gonna have it on September 27th, the same location. It's gonna be from 6 to 10, so we're giving the parents the opportunity to go home, get their children ready, and drop them off at 6, and they pick them up at 10.
At 10 at night?
Yes.
Okay. So they're going to have a great time again?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
This year we're even looking to add in a puppet show. We try to keep it, you know, creative every year for them.
Wow. Good, good.
Also, last year too, one of our big signature project was our teachers appreciation. where we contacted the various school boards for the primary schools, and we asked them to select one teacher per school that exemplified service above self, that goes above and beyond for their students. And what we did is, through the kind sponsorship of some of our fabulous donors, we provided them with breakfast boxes and gift vouchers. You know, they got vouchers like a spa, manicure, pedicure, and various items. So that's something that we're also going to continue this year.
But this year we're actually doing the high school.
The high school.
Last year we did primary, so this year we're gonna show some appreciation to a teacher of a high school.
Okay. So, and then these are selected by the children?
No, it's by the school board.
By the school?
board,
The school
yes.
board, yeah. Okay. And the children have no say in that? Well, you know, you can't, you know, because the child is in the classroom of his, you know, his teacher. So, yeah. I like some of the things that you're doing, and I think we're going back to literature, you know, and the importance of reading, because the danger that we have today is that, you know, with the WhatsApp and all of that, people are writing and reading. I don't know if it's shorthand, but you know, in different ways. And then we have to be careful that that doesn't become the norm.
Correct.
You know, and then when you look, they can't read the real literature, and they are accustomed of the WhatsApp jargon. So we have to be careful with that, you know, especially the younger people who spend a lot of time on WhatsApp, so that we still know how to read and read properly.
Right.
You know, so I think that is so important, because reading, how would I say, reading has become something like
That's pushed on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're living in a digital age where you have spell check and you have how you call
So it doesn't really challenge you.
This before you
The predefined
the
text.
predefined text. So you can press T. You want to say the cat, and it, you know, it kind of knows what you want to type. So that's a challenge that we have. So we, as a club, one of the other projects that we did to kind of promote the importance of literacy was to have the little libraries installed. So we have 3 free little libraries, and I know that we didn't have really a big how do you say, explanation of what they are, and some persons, they see it around in different communities. So we have one that was at the Marigot waterfront. We have also one at the Raw Village Sport Complex, and we have one at USM. So the whole concept about the free little libraries is like, it's a shared, it's like a book exchange. So if you have books at home that you have read and you know, you don't really want to get rid of them, but you have nothing else to do with them, you can always go to one of the libraries and put your books there, so someone else would have that opportunity to read those books as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important. It's, and particularly amongst younger children, even 6 and 7 years old, and so on. Let me see. In the Rotary Club, most of these clubs have some kind of training going on. But when you do projects, like doing a project, you're in a training. You learn how to set up the project, how to execute it, etc., how to manage it, because somebody has to be like the head of it. So, you know, and then you have committees. But besides your goals and your points there, is there any sort of training that the Rotary Club provides to its members?
Yes, we do have annually, or which we would love to have annually, the RLI training, which is a Rotary Leadership Institute, where members can learn all things Rotary. And then it breaks down into the different committees. So you have fundraising, you have membership, you have club service. So you get a full, broader aspect of the training. We also have yearly our district conferences. So we're clubs on St. Martin, but we fall under the District 7020, which comprises of islands from St. Bart's all the way up to the Bahamas. So every year, the district has a conference where all clubs, presidents and secretary, it's mandatory for you to attend, but all members are welcome to attend. And at the conferences, we do get more detailed training on how to run your club.
And train, yeah, okay, so leadership training.
Yes.
And so on. Yeah. Okay. And when once you join the Rotary, there's no time that you have to leave.
No. We would love if you could be a Rotarian forever.
All your life. Okay.
Persons do, we understand that persons do maybe move around, so you might move to another country where you can be a Rotarian in another country. So you can resign from one club and then you join membership in another club. It's a worldwide organization. Even as we travel, some of our Rotarians that travel and visit different countries, they are able to attend meetings at the Rotary clubs in that specific country.
You let them know that you're there, and then they invite you to one of their meetings and so on.
Yes, and they believe you me, they welcome you. We have an actual pin that all Rotarians are encouraged to wear, and the minute another Rotarian sees you with your pin, the love and the support is just overwhelming. You have an absolute stranger. They say, "Oh, she's a Rotarian. She has a pin on," and then they just welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, that's a good thing about being part of an international organization, because you travel somewhere and then you meet some of your fellow. Even if you're on vacation, you know, you would meet some of your fellow Rotarians, and then you get to know more people. It's really good being a part of an international organization. And I know some organizations, they have what would I say, a global mission. So although on your island or your respective country you have the missions that you work towards, but then there's one global mission that they would say, Rotary would say, for instance, in 2019, we're going to work on, let's say, eyesight, and we want every club to do a project on eyesight, around the world. Does Rotary have something like that?
Well, the focus areas that I mentioned, the 6 focus areas that I mentioned earlier, those are on a global scale. But I think one of the priorities right now of Rotary is to eradicate polio. So we're in St. Martin, we forget what polio is about because we are required to be vaccinated.
Something I thought I was somebody.
We're required to vaccinate our children, so we are vaccinated on the islands, but in places like Afghanistan, there are still cases of the polio virus. So we're trying very hard with the help of corporate sponsors. You have Bill Gates that is on board, and every dollar that is donated to the Rotary Foundation, his foundation matches it 2 times in efforts to eradicate polio.
And we have been making strides on that.
Yes.
Great strides, because although it's not completely eradicated, but it has diminished quite a lot. But until the last one is gone, we will continue doing what we're doing, right?
Yes. Yeah. And within our district this year, our district governor, she encourages us to focus on, or to kind of equate diabetes, similar to put that focus like we have on polio. Because even though we're not really worried about anyone on the island having polio, if we look at diabetes, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. So what would the Rotary be doing about diabetes? What would you be doing? Would you be making people aware of it? What's the plan?
We definitely want to bring awareness to the harmful effects, because let's be honest, it's not something that you can catch. It's something that we contribute to ourselves. If you're not born with diabetes, the way you eat, your diet contributes to you getting the illness. So we want to kind of bring about that awareness. we have several ideas, maybe go into the schools and talk about the importance of drinking more water as opposed to drinking sodas and juice that are filled with sugars.
Lord, you won't kill the children, no.
That is something, because you have to really, if you're already at an older age and you have the disease and there's not much you can do at that stage, then it doesn't really serve its purpose if we come to you and give you that awareness. But what we want to do is try to prevent it by creating that awareness in the younger generation, that they can prevent themselves from it getting out of hand. Also, we're thinking of having like a fair, because December is the month where we focus on disease prevention and awareness. So we're thinking about having a fair that we can maybe partner with the Diabetes Foundation on both sides of the island and maybe provide the testing strips or the testing machines. But again, we cannot do it on a grand scale without, sponsorships from the corporate donors.
Yep, definitely. And I'll tell you something, and I'm not getting at government, but it would benefit government if we could control diabetes, because then it would bring down the cost of health care in the country. So government too would benefit from that. So I think it would be in their interest to also contribute towards fighting diabetes, because diabetes right now is one of the major problems. People always say cancer, but diabetes is like a cancer too, So if we could fight that, I think that's a very positive step towards it. And it's just a matter of people being aware and having the discipline to, and then those who already have it, you have to change your lifestyle.
Correct.
And people have to be aware of this and change your lifestyle, exercise, rest properly, what and when you eat. The same meal you have in let's say midday, you can't have that at night.
For dinner,
And then we have people eating at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Okay. So that's a weird eating habit. I had a friend here a doctor from, he was from Colorado, Denver, Colorado. And he spent some time here with me some years ago. And I remember we went on the Sager's God by one of those snacks there, I think it was, at the time it was called Montana Snack. And this is like 3:30 going to 4 in the morning. And we're standing there to get a drink or something. And next to us is a guy eating a bowl of mondongo soup. And when I say a bowl of mondongo soup, a bowl. Okay, not a teaspoon of mondongo soup, a bowl. And my friend almost passed out. He was like, wait, he's going to eat that now? I was like, yeah, he bought it, right? He got to eat it. And he was like, at this hour in the morning? I had to explain to him that this guy, his night is our morning and our morning, or let's say his day is our night and his night is our day, because he works at the casino. So he spends his day sleeping and his night working.
Right.
So he was on a different timetable, but he could not get over, like we would pass restaurants at let's say 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there are people in the restaurants eating, you have people showing up at that time, and he was like, that can't be good, that can't be healthy. And I told him, that's how people eat. Some people eat at 11 o'clock at night. So we have a very bad eating habit.
Yeah, and just to add on what you said, last year we did a agricultural awareness drive where we went and contacted several of the agriculturalists on the island. And I can remember we did an interview with Ras Bushman on the Bush Road, and he took us into his gardens, and it was quite a hike up in the hills. And it's funny because in my young age, my youthful age, I couldn't manage to walk up the hill.
But
And
now you can walk it up.
No, not.
Oh.
No, it might probably be even worse. But Ras Bushman, he walked the hill like it was nobody business, and he didn't drop a sweat. He wasn't out of breath, and it was myself and 2 other Rotarians. We couldn't make it halfway.
So y'all have to tell me, you go ahead, man.
So we had to stop, we had to take a break, and then, you know, we continued, and then he was like, you know, that's the importance of what you eat.
See, again, you know, and I'm sure when you went up in his garden, you were surprised with what you saw.
Yeah, he has a lot of, you know, local, for me, the whole project was an eye-opener, because I was definitely not aware that we have lettuce and these type of things that's being grown on the island. Things that you go to the shop and you purchase and you buy it today, tomorrow it's spoiled. You know, I don't know that these things are available. So that was an opportunity for me to really see the importance of having that, because my mother always tells me I waste money buying these things, and then, you know, they just spoil. You have to throw them away. You can't use it. So knowing that you have different agriculturalists, we had Ras Bushman was one, Ras Tuja was one, and we also did Denisio.
Yeah.
And you know, they have gardens, they plant so many things that you would never expect.
I expect though. Because I grow things like tomatoes and lettuce and all of that too myself, you know. I had a why not buying lettuce but growing my own. You know? But it's something that we have to get people into again and get them aware of it, so that how would I say, we do more of it. People nowadays don't have time for anything, you know.
Right.
And I think another issue that we should discuss or train people on is time management. You know, people are constantly on the go, you know, and we hardly have time to rest or time for ourselves,
Right.
or even time for our family, because we're constantly on the go. We, in St. Martin, people spend a lot of time in traffic, you know.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. No, valuable time that you could have been doing something else, you spent in traffic. And now it might seem normal to us because it's part of our everyday life. But if you add in the morning how much time you spend in traffic, midday, evening, and so on, you might say, but look at that, 3 hours of my day went in traffic. Last time I could have been doing something useful. You know, I could have been doing something better. So I went for the club that going to come and tell me, we're going to do something about the traffic on St. Martin. I don't know what, but, you know. But Rotarians are special people, though, because of the projects that they bring forward. And like I said, all these projects are very important for the community, you know. And my mind's still on the youngsters who go to school without a meal. You know, sometimes you say, but what could you do about it? You know, but thank God for the Rotary that there are some that are still getting a meal. Yeah. And there's no parent who send their children to school without a meal on purpose.
Correct.
That's true.
You know, there's no parent who would say, well, you know, this week I ain't giving you nothing to go to school with. You know, there's always a reason for it. You know, it is sad, and sometimes we think, well, St. Martin is this highly developed country. You can't have poverty in St. Martin, but you go through some of the districts and you will see. You know, and it's both sides of the island, huh?
Yeah.
So, we talked about any upcoming project, any project next in line?
We spoke about all, actually.
Yeah, coming up for the
September,
next
I think
quarter.
you have one.
We have September, which is typically our busiest month. We have the Teachers Appreciation, which we're going to be highlighting the teachers of the high schools.
Read a book a day.
The Read a Book a Day. We're going to go again into the school. This is a project, it's not just open to Rotarians, so anyone in the community, yourself included, you can, you know, just let us know if you're interested, and then we can contact the schools.
The Read a Book is at the high schools or at the primary schools?
It's at any school level that you choose, preferably the primary schools, because, you know, with the high schools, they have, you know, a class at this time, then they have to rotate, so I'm not sure if that would fit for them, but for the the primary school, it has been working great. So we just contact the schools, we let them know what day we're interested in or what day is best for them, and then we go in. Typically we do early in the morning and we read a story to them. So we're opening that up to the general public.
That's also in September?
Yes. If anyone is interested in joining the movement, then they can just let us know.
Okay.
And then at the end of September, we have our Reading Slumber Fund.
Oh, yeah.
We also gonna put out a public service announcement on our little libraries because persons are still, not sure of the concept of how to use it. Unfortunately, the one that we had in Marigot was vandalized, so we're actually looking for another location to replace, to put another library.
That's sad that people vandalize those sort of things. But I gotta say that you guys are doing a great job. And Madam President, you have your club doing good things in the community. Yes. And the sad thing is that these things don't make headlines, what you're doing. Sometimes they don't even make the newspaper or the media. But if you have done something wrong, trust me, your picture would have been all over Facebook and all over the media and that sort of thing. And that's the sad thing, that when good things are happening in the community, we don't really highlight that. And we need more of that to focus on the good things, because if you keep feeding people negative things, their brain and their habit and their customs and it will come a time that they can't do without hearing something negative. Because that's what drives them,
So for the people who are tired of negativity, they can actually just follow our Facebook page, the Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunset, and that's where all the positive stuff are. So, tired of the negativity, follow our page.
Yeah, because it is, and we tend, a lot of people tell you nothing good happening on this island, because only the bad things make the headlines. And the good things sometimes they're on page 27 or on the same page with obituaries and those sort of things, So you don't want that. But you're doing a good job, and I want to make it a habit to have you all in on a regular basis, whether it is monthly or every other month or something like that. But we have the clubs come in and let people know, especially when you see young people doing it. Because you get to say, oh, the young people this and the young people that. But we have a lot of good young people in our society.
The thing is, you have persons that they want to do good, but there's no opportunity for them to do it.
Or they don't know of the opportunity.
Correct.
Because the opportunities are there. Join the Rotary Club, for instance, or what you call the younger ones, the
Rotaractors and interactors.
Yeah. So from young, you could already start in these organizations, and then by the time you're an adult, a young adult, you have been
properly groomed,
molded here and groomed into it, and to give back to your community. That is important. You have a talent or you have the ability to give back. Hey, give back, and I think that's what drives a community too, when you have people in it giving back. So, any last words? Because that hour that we are here has gone by within, let's say, maybe 30 minutes. Yeah? You see how quick it goes when you're having fun?
That's so true.
Any last words?
So I would like to thank you for having us on the show, so that we can actually spread the word on what Rotary is, because I know a lot of people have, like a misconception of it, and and that we were able to highlight our projects, so everyone can be involved in them.
Okay.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Clark, for having us. Thank you, radio listeners, for us invading your space and talking all things Rotary. And I just want to welcome anyone to just follow our social media pages to keep abreast of what we're doing. If you are interested in joining any one of the Rotary clubs, you can contact any one of our members. And, just thank you for having us. Thank you for being here. It was a lovely interview.
Okay, thank you. Well, we also have Michelle in the house, She's really quietly, she is the PR.
Thanks to Michelle for the moral support. Hopefully next time she'll be leading the interview.
I thought she was leading because She's been
I
here
actually
from
thought she was leading as well.
Okay.
What a surprise.
There are more surprises to come. Okay. Well, thank you all again, and enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your day, and the rest of your week. And we're going to discuss when I'm going to have you back.
Okay,
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. That's going to do it for me today.